Well, let me just point out, to show you how sick the elite media is, they report all that as though it's something bad about Trump.
Right.
I mean, they say, look at all the people who've left. Well, yeah, they've all left because they were all engaged in what was probably criminal behavior. And the truth is that the Attorney General should intervene. He is not recused on any of this. And the Attorney General should intervene and should appoint a special counsel for all those people, including the director of the FBI, including the former Attorney General. I mean, we have a very serious problem of corruption at the very top of our judicial system and our FBI system in a way which I think is pretty frightening.
But what are the consequences, Newt? I mean, that's what I keep hearing from our audience. Where is this going? Who will get prosecuted? Who's going to jail? And does this go all the way up to Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton, basically calling the shots on her own election to try to investigate and come up with dirt on her opponent?
Look, in any reasonable system of law, Secretary Clinton would already be in jail. All of her senior aides would be in jail. I mean, you look at you eliminate 33,000 emails. Every single one of them is a count in terms of how the State Department lists what are secrets. 33,000. You have her aides who are totally engaged in this and who are being treated, by the way, with kid gloves by the FBI. You have, I think the first question that has to be asked by the Congress is to Comey to say, what did it mean that he was briefing the president? Give us copies of what you used to brief him. What was the president asking you? I don't think you can get to Obama until you first get to Comey and to Lynch, but certainly that one text message I thought was the equivalent of Alexander Butterfield and Watergate saying, oh, you know, there's this taping system. I mean, we now have a very senior FBI agent, the #2 guy in counterintelligence, involved in text messages with his girlfriend saying, you know, we really got to put this together so Comey can brief Obama, who wants to know everything.
Right.
Well, does that mean he was in the middle of both covering up Hillary and going after Trump? I'm not saying I know anything, except that somebody had better be preparing for some very serious hearings.
Well, that's absolutely right. I mean, you know, the gentleman you're talking about, let's see, Peter Strzok, rather, pardon me. Peter Strzok was on both investigations. He was on the Trump investigation, so-called collusion, which never materialized, and also on the email scandal investigation of Hillary Clinton. And let's not forget that Loretta Lynch told Jim Comey to call it a matter. Don't call it a criminal investigation, even though it was a criminal investigation. See, I've been told by insiders that Comey was basically just used and told what to do by Andy McCabe and Loretta Lynch, that they were really pulling the strings. So if Loretta Lynch is basically telling Comey, call it a matter, not an investigation, do this, say it this way, I'm going to go meet with Bill Clinton on a tarmac in Arizona, she's obviously getting the word from her boss, who is Barack Obama.
Well, I think that's probably true, but we don't know that yet, which is why I think we have to start with Comey and put him under oath and say, were you briefing the president or did Strzok lie? Then I think you bring Strzok in and have him testify, why did you think he was briefing the president? And also Strzok's girlfriend, who was part of that conversation.
That's right.
Then you have the conversations in Andy McCabe's office. And remember, his wife had gotten, I think, $700,000 as a Democratic candidate. So now you have the deputy director of the FBI, and it was in his office that Strzok said they had talks about how terrible it would be if Trump won. I mean, if you put all the pieces up on the wall, it is impossible to reach any conclusion other than that there was an enormous conspiracy at the very top. And again, let me be clear. Most FBI agents are honest, honorable, decent people. The top 1% was apparently stunningly engaged in corruption.
Right. And one by one, those 10 people are being fired or reassigned. I agree with you about the FBI in general. A word before you go, Newt, on Jeff Sessions. Is he going to get involved in any of this? I mean, at the end of the day, he's holding the ball in terms of where this goes for prosecutions.
Look, he is a very good friend of mine, but I have to tell you, I am very disappointed. He is not in any way recused on this information. He should be appointing an independent counsel. He should be demanding that we get to the bottom of this. I mean, he should be the guy in charge of the cleanup. And there's no reason he can't be. This has nothing to do with the so-called Russian investigation, and therefore he's not recused in any way. And I, frankly, am very surprised that he has been so passive about this.
Well, what's the answer? Does he always have lawyers around him basically saying, don't say a word about it because you recused yourself?
Look, you are a great interviewer. Invite him on your show and ask him. I don't know what the answer is.
Okay.
I'm totally mystified because he's a great guy. He's a solid conservative. He certainly in his career has been a fighter. And this behavior is just totally unlike everything I knew about Jeff Sessions before the last 6 or 8 months.
Yeah. All right, we'll be watching that. It's on Jeff Sessions. We will be following the story as you know it. Newt Gingrich, always a pleasure, sir. Thank you.
Good to be with you.